Hey everybody, I'm back with another constructed video. I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to play today until I tuned into Caleb Durward's stream and knew what I was going to play immediately. This is a Grixis Dragons deck, and it is really sweet. Basically, the theme of this deck is that it's pretty clunky. You have a lot of very expensive cards at 4, 5, and 6, but the reward for that is that it's extremely powerful. Obviously, the dragons are just good cards, like dragons tend to be. They're big and they fly and they end the game quickly. But you also generate an insane amount of card advantage in this deck. It cannot be overstated how many extra cards you get to draw with Dragon's Hoard. Not to mention if you get a couple of them down. It's kind of ridiculous. You also have a couple other good card advantage engines. Sarkhan is virtual card advantage, looting away extra lands or things that you don't need to find things that you do. Notion Rain is just a powerful card draw spell. Gets you up 1 with some good selection. Search for Azcanta, if it flips, it's obviously crazy. And Treasure Map. I haven't seen as much of this in the new standard, but the go-to for decks that didn't really want to play Glimmer of Genius in the last format was Treasure Map. This is a powerful colorless card that draws you a lot of cards, while also filtering your draws more early. The only other real thing to note is this deck is actually put together really cleverly, and this impressed me a lot. Niv-Mizzet is, on its face, an extremely difficult card to cast. 6 colored mana symbols is really hard, and so at first I thought, damn, how are you going to do that in a 3-color deck? The cool thing is, no matter which 3-color combination you play in current standard, you will have, at most, 2 of the sets of Shocklands, instead of the 3 possible. And for Grixis, you have access to Watery Grave and Steam Vents. Both are blue. So what this means is that 16 of our dual lands are blue, and 5 of the basics out of 6 in this deck are red. And so there's only 1 land in the whole deck that doesn't make blue or red, which means that Niv-Mizzet is not actually that difficult to cast, even without the help of Sarkhan and Dragon's Hoard. And I just thought that was really neat. This card is also just incredibly powerful. It's kind of amazing to see how easily you can just bury an opponent, and it does really cool stuff, like how, since it triggers when either player casts an instant sorcery, Lava Coil can suddenly kill a Lyra Dawnbringer by itself. You cast this, draw a card, ping Lyra for 1, and then shoot her for 4, and that's really awesome. Sideboard is a pretty straightforward mid-range sideboard. You have Duress and Negate for against control, Moment of Craving for against aggressive red-type decks, Sorcerous Spyglass. There's one of these in the main, and then the other one in the sideboard. Mostly this is just for Teferi. Teferi is a huge beating, and this deck attacks kind of well, but is really vulnerable to Teferi down-ticking, since we don't really have any burn to finish him off with that last point. But just sticking this on turn 2 against blue-white and turning off their Teferis for the rest of the game is really good. Fiery Cannonade. This is pretty good against the red decks, but mostly it'll make sure that we don't lose to tokens. Clearing out all their 1 or even 2 toughness creatures is great. One of the problems with things like Plague Mare is that if they get down a Venerated Loxodon, their soldier tokens all go up to 2 toughness, but this kills them anyway. And then the Eldest Reborn. Good in various strategies. It's really good against the Red-White Angels deck that people are playing, since it allows you to edict away hexproof creatures, and it's really good against people who want to play one big threat, like a Lyra or a Planeswalker or something. So that's the deck. I've played a few games with it, and it is really fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and hop in. Alright, here we are getting into the first match. So if I were to sum myself up as a player, I would say that I'm mostly a Spike. I really care about winning. Ugh, that hand is not very good. I mostly care about winning and doing powerful things. Man, this hand might be worse. I'm on the play. I think I have to mull this. 1 land is just not enough. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I really care about winning and doing powerful things, but I'm also a Timmy. I like to do big, flashy, fun things. And so, the fact that this deck is pretty good, I beat up a lot of, like, very, very real decks, at least things that look to be players in Standard. Do I fire this off now? I think I do. I think my mana's going to be pinched, and if I don't see anything, I'll just name Vraska. Okay, damn. That's something. Oh my. Yeah. The question is which one I name, because Relic Seeker is the better card, and is almost more likely to be in my opponent's deck, but the Stitcher Suppliers make me think that my opponent is running Golgari Queen. It fits what they're doing better, so I'm gonna go ahead and name that. We are going to need to draw lands. This is going to kill us very quickly if we don't draw out of this. It said opponent needs to draw lands too. They get more looks at it, like they already drew one, and this has a good chance of getting another one. Okay, they have 4th land on time. That is really unfortunate. Just gonna go ahead and Lava Coil this, keep board clear. We're gonna need some help. Land mostly will be good enough. Demanding Dragon into Niv-Mizzet. Maybe we can double block this demon, and their hand doesn't do a whole lot else, so maybe that'll be good enough. Wow. Wait. What? That was really weird. It was showing the Golgari symbol with 3 even before they had that many. We're basically dead. Like, this is the opposite of drawing a land. We're playing 26, so our odds weren't that bad, but the fact that both players mulled to 5, but our opponent's hand is just, like, perfect and ours isn't working at all is really sad. We don't really, like, even have an answer for this. Yeah, gotta go ahead and pack it in. Like, all our removals, the Lava Coils. Oh dear, that wasn't great. So, I'm actually going to cut the Spyglass. My guess from what our opponent showed us is that their 4-mana payoff for having dinky creatures like Stitcher's Supplier is the demon instead of Vraska. I could be wrong. So what do we bring in? Honestly, I played against Black-Green before, and I didn't have a tough time at all. Like, I was able to just win pretty easily, but all of these cards are kind of bad. Like, maybe I'm supposed to play Cannonade to sweep up the little creatures, but that seems pretty mediocre. Eldest Reborn, although, seems awful. Like, it would have been so bad against what they were doing there. Duress would have completely whiffed. Moment of Craving is more spot removal. I'll bring in the Cannonade. Like, maybe it's awful, but maybe we just get to sweep up a whole bunch of little creatures. Like, for instance, when they played those 2 Stitcher Suppliers after we Lava Coiled the Branchwalker, this would have held them off the demon for a while, so who knows, maybe it will pay off. I think we are favored if we don't just stumble and die. Our creatures are much better than theirs, and they can't really stop what we're doing very effectively. Okay. Well, alright, let's hope we can scry into a land. Sure. Taking it. This hand is already much better than what we were doing last game. We are going to need some help, though. Okay, Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, but yeah, back to what I was just saying. It's really fun to be able to do big, powerful things, like play a whole bunch of dragons in my deck. This just pleases me on a very visceral level. Okay, hit me for 1, probably playing a Branchwalker. Nope, just another Supplier. A lot of people have been talking about this card in, like, these types of decks, and it's fine, I guess. It'll make your Izonis better, but I don't know that you need to be wasting cards on that. I would rather just play a creature that was a good card up front. Next turn, we'll see what happens. I might just play the Steam Vents tapped, play Verix. I'm also somewhat incentivized... I'm somewhat incentivized to play a land untapped, so that I can draw a card and try to hit Niv-Mizzet next turn. I think I can afford to lose the 2 life here. Of course, Bolas better... basically strictly better than Verix. Forces a discard, and this card has a payoff if you get it into the late game. And that's really not that hard to do. We're playing 26 lands and 4 copies of a Mana Rock, not to mention a Planeswalker that makes a bunch of mana. I have kicked this more than once. And of course, if you kick it, you get 2 dragons, so you get to draw 2 cards with Dragon's Hoard, which is awesome. Okay, they pitched another Izoni. We just gotta try to not die here. Like, they might have a removal spell and then play a demon and we'll just get run over, but if they don't do that, like, this was a lot of cards. Wow, okay! I mean, that would have hit Verix too, but damn, that is brutal. We do have a lot of legendary dragons, that is just the truth. I haven't drawn yet, just because maybe they have some sort of discard spell, and I want to not give them the option to take whatever's on the top of our deck right here. Okay. They binned a Rhizome Lurcher. Please don't play a demon. Yep, take 2, it's fine. Is it 5/5? Okay. I will go ahead and draw, because I would like to play my Niv-Mizzet. Apparently that isn't an option yet. Okay. I'm just going to keep the card draw flowing. And now, because I haven't played a land yet this turn, I'm going to do the opposite. In case I draw a shock land, I want to put it into play tapped. Didn't draw a shock land, but whatever. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and start getting these off the table. It makes my opponent's cards somewhat better, but that's fine. My opponent has shown a bunch of things that they... between the demon and these plague crafters, they've shown a bunch of cards where they want to have spare bodies lying around to sack. And so... okay, that's really good for them. And they have that land. Oh my god, this is brutality. That was... they could have not have had better spread of cards. I think we might just be dead. I guess I play Demanding Dragon and look to trade here, take a bunch. Yeah, this is how this type of deck can lose. Like I said, it's clunky. All of our cards cost 1,000,000 mana. We're up so many cards from this Dragon's Hoard and from Bolas and everything, but it probably won't matter here. Like, even if we stabilized here, Izoni's just gonna hit us for 1,000,000. Yeah, okay. And they just have the removal spell. Okay. Man, that was not a great showing to start off. Our sideboard is not set up to win this matchup. You'd have to do things differently if you wanted to be really favored, but I think if we played that again, that might have gone differently. That just... our draw did not line up well against what they were doing, and we mulliganed a lot both games. Oh well, getting into the next one shortly. Alright, starting up the second match. Hopefully against something we're a little more well set up for. It's always awkward when you create a sideboard plan saying, that deck isn't very popular, I'll just kind of write it off, and then immediately queue into it and get beaten up. But alas. Can't sideboard for everything, you only get 15 slots. Okay, Plains. We'll see. Didn't have a 1-drop, maybe the Boros deck? We shall see. Second basic Plains. No. One is doing something else. It's kind of interesting. If I had to rank the dragons in this deck, I think Demanding Dragon might be the worst one. Okay, they are Boros, and they have powerful cards. They just decided that they want to be playing Silverbeak Griffin here. That's fine. Gonna put that in the graveyard. We already have a whole bunch of lands. Your land anyway. Okay. We're falling really far behind here. We need to hope that our dragons are enough to stabilize. Opponent has like a couple Conclave Tribunals, we're just gonna die. Like, taking 4 here down to 14, they'll remove this, hit me for 10, down to 4, and there isn't really a lot I can do after that point. Oh my god, and they're Kindling Phoenix too? Jeez. Yeah, opponent had an excellent 2-3-4 aggro curve, whereas we spent a lot of time setting up and not really doing anything. God, I think we have to keep that because we need it for the Phoenix, but I think we're just gonna die. Like, even if we block, even if they don't have a removal spell, I'm taking 10 here. Yeah, I think we're just way too slow on the draw. Yeah, I gotta start getting dragons down, but yeah, I think this is much too slow. And we get to do something about this. The Cannonades and the Moment of Cravings will be excellent against what our opponent's doing. If instead of Search for Azcanta, we'd killed this on 2 and gained 2 life, or this turn instead of Demanding Dragon, we were sweeping their board and just taking 4 from the Phoenix that we could Lava Coil later, we would be in a great spot. Not set up against... Oh my, that's extra nasty. I'm gonna put it on one of these. I think we're still, like, basically dead here, but... Yeah, there's, like, no way to live through this. Graveyard. Yeah, even if we Bolas and Lava Coil this, then we still block 2, take 2, and we're dead. Okay, yeah. Opponent had very good aggro draw, and our draw was very clunky. So let's try to clean that up, make sure that doesn't happen again. Search for Azcanta is really slow and dirtily. Sorcerous Spyglass probably doesn't have any good targets. Treasure map is slow and clunky, and we can't trim all of our card advantage. That's a good way to just lose, because you never actually take over the game. But we do just need to clean up what we're doing. And I'll just trim a couple dragons and maybe a Notion Rain. Then we will bring in sweepers, and we have 3 more slots. I think I'll just go with 3 Moment of Cravings for now. We didn't see exactly what our opponent's doing. If they shift into, like, a red-white control deck themselves, then we might bring in Duresses or Negates, but as is, we just saw, like, a million creatures. So I'm fine with this setup. I think this should be a lot better. We'll be on the play this time. Hopefully won't just get run over quite so badly. I have a bad habit of playing games, liking a deck, talking it up, and then going to record and just getting beaten really badly. This hand is excellent, though. Hard to get run over with this one. Okay, opponent going to 5. Okay, cool. Need to draw some lands, but we have enough to cast our interactive spells, so that's already great. That is a fantastic draw. We only need 1 more land to have something powerful and proactive. Opponent mulliganed, so the Ravenous Rats they discard a card part of this is just extra good. Sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I could Lava Coil or Cannonade, but I think we can get more. Like, if our opponent plays a History here, which is their best card, yep. I'm going to Bolas, get a card out of their hand, and then Cannonade can sweep up both Knights and also this card, so I'll be feeling pretty good at that point. But yeah, making an opponent discard a card gets better and better as they have fewer cards to work with to begin, and opponent mulled to 5 this game, so they're really vulnerable to this type of effect. This curve even works out so that if we don't even draw a land, we still get to draw a card with Dragon's Hoard and Cannonade and clean up their board. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. This way I get to attack, and if they have a lightning strike, they can't just... Wow, okay. That's another good reason to do this now. Damn, I didn't expect that. I'm glad I didn't try to wait until their turn and take a whole bunch of extra damage. That would have been bad. Question is here whether I try to trade Bolas off for one of these as 4/3s, or block here, take a bunch of damage. They might not even attack. Yeah, okay. I will block if they're not even offering the Griffin. Okay, another Griffin. Could really go for another Cannonade. Adding it. This card costs 3? Huh. Okay. So, we have a couple options here. We can Demanding Dragon and draw a card. We could just kill a couple creatures. Or we could stick Niv-Mizzet. Probably take a significant amount of damage this next turn, but then really go to town on their board. I think this is the highest payoff. I want to just play this and really start turning the game around, and even if they have, like, Conclave Tribunal to get rid of this guy, we can still kill 2 creatures and draw a card next turn, and probably aren't going to die. Okay. So go ahead, shoot a knight. This is where things start getting really gross with this deck. For the opponent. For me, it's just really fun. Cast this to kill one, draw a card, use the ping to kill another. And then, I already played a land this turn. I think I'm just going to go to combat and attack. Just start putting this game away. Our life total's still really high. Opponent might have the 2 mana, deal 5 to an attacking or blocking creature. No, settle the wreckage. Wow, okay, sure. I did not expect that. Just go ahead and ping them. Oh, that was actually a mistake. I should have pinged the Griffin and then tapped the Dragon's Hoard to draw a card and ping this one. We wouldn't get our dragon down, but we would just get their Griffin for free. I think we're still going to be fine. Boarding and settle the wreckage against us. That's interesting. I would have walked into it. Like, if we'd waited a little longer and gotten up to 1,000,000 dragons, I would have just sauntered into losing them all, but... Okay, that guy needs to go away. He is a jerk. Luckily, we have a Lava Coil. Okay, opponent drops the good game. Here, I think we will just wait. Or I'll draw a card first. Let's see, we might hit a dragon. We did hit a dragon. Sweet. Get their last card. Another Leonin War Leader. We've got this game pretty well in hand. We're attacking for lethal next turn, and even if they have another settle, we've just got a lot of advantages in the bank. Okay, so it looks like they are red-white creature aggro. They kept in the Griffins, and so I like having a bunch of 2-mana removal spells. Cannonade looked excellent. We have a decent amount of answers for the War Leaders and the Phoenixes. We kind of need to take over the game with our dragons, but I think we still have enough. They only showed, like, the one good removal spell, really. And they showed that trick to give their creatures indestructible, so we do have to play around that, but I think the setup is good. I think these are the cards that we want. That said, opponent mulled to 5 that game, so it was relatively easy to grind them out, but... Ugh. Is this hand good enough? I think it is. We have a kill spell and a way to select cards and card advantage, plus we have our colors and plenty of lands. So, yeah, I think I'm going to keep this. It is a little sketchy. We're going to need to draw a significant amount of good stuff. I'm going to lead with Sulfur Falls here, because it's the only one that Swamp doesn't have enter untapped later. Okay, nothing on 2 is good for us, so we can play Swamp, and we can go ahead and get our treasure map down. Might be a History of Benalia here. We would probably just Moment of Craving the Knight and activate treasure map on our turn. Bolas, as usual, excellent draw, just always trades for at least 1 card out of their hand. No history, okay. That's just extra excellent for us. And go ahead and pass, leaving up Moment of Craving in case they do anything scary, but also getting to activate our map. I was gonna say, they might just start playing their 4 mana guys here. We will need significant good stuff to deal with these. Definitely don't want to land. Go ahead and go to my turn. Alright, that's even cool because, yeah, we can play Bolas, it'll get a card, and if they attack with the War Leader, we can very aggressively block. Even if it just trades for a trick or something, we have another Bolas on backup. We're still at 20. Okay, I am perfectly fine with that. This card is generally very good against our mid-range style decks. It lines up very badly against a deck with a bunch of 4/4s. Okay, taking a little damage, that's fine. Hopefully we'll find a Cannonade to sweep those up later. Just gonna go ahead and get another card out of their hand. Opponent doesn't have any green mana, so they're not activating this. Just makes it so we can't target their stuff. That is perfectly acceptable. Yep, got another card out of their hand, that's fine. I'm gonna set a stop on my own upkeep. We have plenty of mana to do what we want to do, so... Whoa. Okay. It's a good thing we don't have any planeswalkers. I guess we know not to flip the Ravager. Opponent dropping the hello. Okay. I'm going to be looking to Moment of Craving plus block, so I'm not going to do that stop on our turn anymore. Go ahead and take 4 here. Opponent's almost out of cards, but this is going to draw them a lot of cards, so we need to start going places. Let's see. Okay, we will play a land for turn. That'll put us up to 6. Sarkhan puts us down to 3, but then upticks to play this and also activate Treasure Map. Then we can just double block Shalai. I think that's fine. Getting this guy down's really good. He'll start looting and drawing us cards and stuff. Go ahead and play Sarkhan. Oh, we can't activate him because the Immortal Sun. God damn it. Oh well. This is not the worst thing in the universe, because we're still leaving up Treasure Map plus Moment of Craving and block. Oh man, this drawing 2 cards a turn is really going to be tough though. We're going to need to start playing big scary dragons. Huh. Attacking with these as well. Alright. Well, I will go ahead and go to blocks. Let's hope this works. Notably, even if they have the +1/+0 and indestructible card here, it's not good enough. Okay, taking some damage, but starting to stabilize the board. Okay, a shock kills our Bolas, that's fine. Oh boy, I have not played against this card in a while. Let's see what else they got. They got 2 cards in hand. Yeah, it's probably just lands. I think our opponent is rather flooded here. Is that good enough? Kinda? Like, kinda? Not really. I think I'm just going to bottom that and play a kicked Verix for my turn. Okay. Now, Verix likes to aggressively tap the Treasure Cove for... Or I should say the game just in general does. And we don't want it to do that. We want to draw a card off our Treasure Cove. So, I'm going to go ahead and play this kicked using all the other lands. We'll get to draw an extra card. We don't have, like, any answers to this, which sucks. We're just gonna have to play big, awesome dragons and end the game really fast. And we can do that. We are also drawing a couple cards a turn. Our creatures are bigger and better and more awesome. Opponent might be killing one of my dragons here. We shall see. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and end. Such a weird card. We could find a Niv-Mizzet. That would be awesome. Start shooting down these cats. Exile target non-land permanent. Okay, this is just 4 mana Oblivion Ring. Okay. Maybe they were already maxed on Ixalan's Binding? That's a weird choice. Oh well. Choosing to attack. They might have like a shock here. They're gonna team it up to kill my guy. Okay, so Verix was an 1,000,000 for 1, so that was fine. But we need more dragons. Go ahead and sacrifice a treasure here. Yes! The perfect dragon. There's not really anything else we can do here. Opponent might be saying they wish they had their cage for my Niv-Mizzet. Go ahead and resolve. Okay. They're drawing a lot of cards, but this is our best card for just burying them despite that. Okay. Resolves. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice Treasure Cove here. Or sacrifice a treasure to Treasure Cove. If we hit, like, a Moment of Craving or something... Okay, we did not. I'm just gonna take the 4 here. I don't think we can risk losing our big awesome dragon to this. Like, if they had a shock, this thing has first strike. We're really in the hole here. Now, though... go ahead, sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. Okay, that's a good insurance policy. So what I'm going to do here... I need to start closing this game. They're drawing too many cards a turn, and they're a red deck, so that we might just die if we let this game go on too long. So I'm going to attack here. Okay. Even if they had their Settle the Wreckage, I was going to play another Niv-Mizzet. Because they did not, I'm just going to play more dragons. Okay. This is really powerful with what our opponent's doing. It's just making it very difficult to actually close the game. Okay. So, unfortunately, I suppose Cannonade actually does still clear this, which is really cool, because we'll draw a card when we cast it off of Niv. So I'm probably just going to do that. Go ahead and go to combat. Okay, again, they don't have the Settle. We have enough mana to do everything, so I'm going to go ahead and Cannonade now. Okay, Lava Coil is sweet. It will get rid of a potential Rekindling Phoenix. And I'll just go ahead and play a Demanding Dragon. They don't have a creature to sacrifice, so this will just nug them for 5, which will help with closing this game. We'll go ahead and end. One of the easiest ways we'd lose this game, I guess, is like a Cleansing Nova, but that would be a really weird choice given the setup of the rest of their deck. Hopefully they don't have that. Oof. If we played another game, I think we're going to win this one, and it's game 3 either way. But if we played another one, I think I would bring in Negates, because this card is just really nasty. Okay, we are still threatening lethal on board. So... okay, sure. Yeah, I am... well, I will go ahead and get Niv-Mizzet down first. Yeah, whatever. Can't tap Treasure Cove, because that only taps for colorless, and he has no colorless in his mana cost. Yeah, I think this is just going to win here, and if not, we can cast both of these, clear their board, and draw a bunch of cards. Okay, I was a little scared of the Immortal Sun there for a second, but in the end, Dragons pulled it out. That was a fun match, and is how a lot of the matches in this deck go. Alright, getting into the third match. I think this will be it, so that this video isn't a million years long. I'll keep it to 3 matches, and I think the last 2 were also just very indicative of both the strengths and weaknesses of the deck. This hand might get run over. It has the same problems as our Game 1 hand last round, but card advantage and card selection, mana ramp and card advantage and card selection, interaction. It's not a whole lot else that you can hope for. And if opponent's playing blue, then this hand is just fantastic. Okay. Looks like they are. They might have a Syncopate or a Negate here, but we want to just go ahead and cast our cards for a little while. Force them to use counters if they have them. Yep, Syncopate, that's fine. Treasure Map is excellent to get down, but it's not like Syncopate wasn't going to get it later. Okay, that's our first bad draw. Alas, go ahead and play this. Okay, getting that down is sweet. They might be thinking that they can just counter all of our dragons, but that is not necessarily the case. I think I'm going to attempt to cast Sarkhan. Wow, I expected him to eat a counter. This is great. because against a blue-white control deck, this is basically just, that's basically just draw a card, because that Lava Coil is blank. Okay. They need Teferi plus a 2-mana counter here to really run away with the game. Cool, and they had neither. I think I'm just going to continue playing this game a little slow. We could add mana, but they haven't been doing anything. They didn't cast a... what is it? Chemister's Insight last turn, so... They have enough for Essence Scatter or to Syncopate a Bolas. They do not have enough to... they don't have double blue to use, like, a... what is it? Sinister Sabotage. So actually, I am going to throw out Bolas here, just because it's so good if it resolves. Okay, looks like they do have the counter. Yep, Essence Scatter, that's fine. But yeah, the fact that they didn't negate Sarkhan makes me think that they don't have... okay, we're drawing all of our Lava Coils, but have our best card to get rid of them, so that's sweet. Okay, here I'm just going to play out the rest of my Dragon Swords. Go ahead and get these down. Now, if we ever do resolve a dragon, it'll have an Ancestral Recall stapled to it. So, yeah, an opponent probably has a bunch of Teferis in their hands, if I had to guess. Let's see, they can Syncopate for 3. We can pay even without Sarkhan's ability, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this guy. They have another Essence Scatter. Sure, that's fine. I'm going to plus, but I am going to decline to discard a card. Oh, this is wrong. I'm dumb. Sorry, this was just a mistake. I didn't realize how much mana I had. I could have added mana and played the Demanding Dragon and gotten the counters here. So, now I'm just going to go ahead and walk into... any counters? No, they don't have one. Damn. Okay. This guy has a -7 as his ult. Oh, and now I'm not going to use this mana, so it's a little pointless. Well, actually, so I'm going to go ahead and add red here. I'm doing this all out of order. This turn has not been played well. The last 2 turns, really. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use this now. I'm guessing they have some amount of Teferis in hand. Yeah. Okay, they have had the Sabotage. Huh, they must have just drawn this, otherwise they would have cast it turns ago. And knowing that they have Cleansing Nova is very relevant, so that I don't ult my Sarkhan. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Go ahead and let that mana fizzle and be done. I wanted to play out 6 lands so that I could Niv-Mizzet and activate these all to draw a bunch of cards and ping stuff. I don't want to play out any further ones, because I can loot them into new cards with Sarkhan. But yeah, like I was saying, they've shown the Cleansing Nova, so ulting Sarkhan is pretty mediocre. It'll just get 1 card out of their hand. Oh, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. That's really brutal, actually. I hadn't thought of them doing that. Okay, so... what I can do here is I can Notion Rain, make mana, Bolas. That seems fine. I will put Steam Vents to the bottom, keep Verix. Sure, red. I still think we've got this game well in hand, but forgetting about the other mode on Cleansing Nova, that was able to get them a lot of advantage back. Put this in tapped. The problem is our opponent doesn't have much time. Like, they can stick a Teferi here, but it doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. I could have just attacked him down, but opponent is getting low, and so there's value in just attacking them to death. I think that's a pretty reasonable win con here. So the question is, I think I'm going to ult Sarkhan now, because I have enough mana to play and kick this, and I've got the Eldest Reborn going. So this forces them to have another Cleansing Nova to clear my board. They did have it, but the thing is, now I'm still, like, winning the game really hard. Each opponent discards a card. Going to uptick Sarkhan. And, I think I do play and kick Verix. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that game went about how we wanted it. Opponent drew out of their mana screw and was able to fight back, but we just had a lot of really powerful stuff going on. Okay, so going into the next game, Lava Coil is awful, and Demanding Dragon is kind of whatever. Eldest Reborn is great. Sorcerous Spyglass is great. Duress and Negate exist for this matchup. We still need 2 cuts. So, Verix costs less than Demanding Dragon, but doesn't have the cool ETB ability, so I'm going to go ahead and trim one of those. And we need 1 more cut. What should it be? Probably another Verix. It's like, it's just a 4/4 for 4 a lot of the time. And the rest of our deck is kind of set up excellently for this deck, or for this matchup. The thing about these blue-white decks is most of their deck is kind of mediocre. It doesn't really do incredibly powerful things, but Teferi is just ridiculous. He is the best card in Standard by a lot. Nothing really comes that close. And we're really good at shutting down Teferi. I like this hand. We have a good 2 into a good 3. Answer for Teferi and our unbeatable late game card. Not really unbeatable, but guaranteed to generate a lot of advantage. So, I like where we're at. Again, they don't have that many counters on 2 that can hit this treasure map, so I'm going to try to sneak it in. Yeah, okay. They syncopate our treasure map, that's fine. This hand is just great because we're going to play must counters on 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and play this Sulfur Falls. Play Sarkhan. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I want this mountain, actually. Go ahead and loot that away. Yeah, we drew a different land. Sarkhan's gonna go ahead and make plenty of mana for us. We don't necessarily need mountain. Okay. Do we want to try to sneak that in, or do we just play Bolas? Because the problem is if we don't... Well, we'll have enough mana if we play this. Yeah. This is really tough, because I think Bolas is likely to eat a counter. So maybe that's what we're supposed to do. I really like getting Dragon's Hoard down first, though. That'll generate a lot of card advantage if we do. Ugh. I think I'm just going to... Yeah, they can counter it with Syncopate or whatever. We can't really stop that. Okay. Opponent might just be sitting on a fistful of Essence Scatters, because it didn't react like they had a chance to counter it, even if they wanted to. But I'm going to force them to have the Essence Scatter here. I guess what I wasn't saying the whole time is, implicitly, I had the option to do both. But if they countered the Dragon's Hoard, I didn't get to Bolas. Okay, they just don't have a counter at all. This is basically best case scenario. Okay, they pitch a Cleansing Nova. Let's see what happens here. Fairy Hero of Dominaria, that's fine. Okay, this is going to work out for us, because when they do that, they do not untap their lands. And so, we get to play the Eldest Reborn, eat their Teferi, we'll be able to draw a card off of the Dragon's Hoard, and then uptick our Sarkhan. Okay. Do we need this land? It lets us play and activate Niv-Mizzet. I don't know how good that is. We'll go ahead and loot this away.
I don't need this. I need this.
I love that line. He doesn't know exactly what he's looking for. Okay, they got a couple cards, but they had both already drawn us a card, so that was like a 0 for 1. Like, okay, perfectly acceptable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this tapped. I'm going to uptick Sarkhan for mana.
I summon you.
Red, blue, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Parun down. The only really annoying play here is if they play Teferi and downtick on Niv-Mizzet. That's pretty irritating. This at least draws us a card. That's fine. We are going to continue burying them. Yeah, an opponent packs it in. We're going to get 4 more 5/5 dragons, and that's what was really awesome about this deck. Normally, slower mid-range decks, which is really what this is, have a lot of trouble with control. They just counter all your stuff and play Teferi and you can't win. But we just dismantled control really easily, and it's not like their draw was bad that time. They had a counter, they had multiple sweepers, they had their best planeswalker, and we still just really destroyed them with a lot of resources to spare. So that went really well. We went 2-1 overall with a kind of disappointing match against Golgari, but I'm pretty happy with that. So, if you liked this video and you want to see more stuff like this video, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow and helps other people see the content that you so enjoyed, and that would be great. Alright, see you guys later, and talk to you next time.